Hello and welcome, it's Fiona from Weekly Sewing Bee. So, yes, it's cheapo clock. Yeah, I got this from the local supermarket. It will work fine. It is made of plastic. Now I've deliberately chosen a clock which you can take the rim off quite easily. So I just need to pop out these little clips. There we go. And it's a case of firm but gently. So yes, but deliberately choose one that's got clips on it. And I think most of them do. Most of these cheap clocks do. Okay, so we've got the front case off, and very simple. We could do like a 3-second make, a very quick present for a friend, and then pop that back on. Now, it's definitely unique, and yeah, and definitely easy. That was very easy, wasn't it? I haven't even done 2 minutes yet on my video. So let's take that off again and let's get rid of that. Oh yes, the battery. It's really important. I know I'm going to need a battery. Okay. Now these hands should pop off as well, but I don't want to do it too often because I don't want to weaken any joints, because I still want it to be usable. Now this lower hand, we've got to work out the clearance. So, you know, chalk pencil, just to sort of give us a clue, really. And you can see that they, it's not quite flat, but it might not be up enough. So yeah, just pop them off. And now I need to peel this off. Now, all these clocks are different. Some of them have frames that clip on to the back, and some of them are all one unit. This is one of the one unit ones. And yeah, I've just got to find a way of getting this started because it's stuck down with glue. I must admit, it's not stuck down with glue very well, but it is stuck down with glue. So, things we can do with this clock now we've got it open. We know we've got very limited clearance, so we do have to be careful. Any buttons or embroidery that we do can only be on the outside inch of the circle, the face. So, yeah, it's not that easy, you know. It's not, oh, there we go. Oh, I dropped it again. There we go. So it's only held on with a little bit of glue, but I suppose what they're thinking is that nobody's going to go in there, so other than us. Now that we've got that off, we can use this as a template. So we can choose our fabric if we want to do embroidery or, yeah. So, because, you know, you could just embroider sleep, tea, couldn't you? If you were English, because that's all we do, we sleep and we drink a lot of tea. Or we could sew on a few buttons. One of the best clocks that I've seen, the most memorable clocks that I've seen recently, is a very nice one. And the numbers were sort of falling off, and then they were all in a big pile at the bottom. And it did look really, really striking. It did look really striking. But what we're going to do is, I've already cut my circle out and I've got my hole for the centre, and I've made sure all my bits are safe, and I'm just literally going to put on a few buttons. I'm going to use embroidery thread to stitch them on. This is just because I think it looks better. Now, where's my end? And you can do as many as you or as few as you like. So I'm going to split this as well because it makes it so much more easy, and divide it into 2 piles of 3 threads. Maybe yellow would be a better colour. Yeah, I'll do a few buttons with grey. Now you don't want to be too close to the edge that you catch up on the frame, the plastic cover as you put it back on. So you need it in a little bit, but not too much. I love these little buttons. Yeah, the nice thing about using embroidery thread is, as well, you don't have to do too many ins and outs. You can just get away with 1 or 2. Tuck that under there. And I don't need it to be too tight because, obviously, it's going to be glued back into the clock. So, let's do that. I know, it seems a bit pointless doing 3 buttons, but now depending on how good your embroidery is, there's lots of stitches we can use. I'm just going to go with an in and out stitch for time. And I haven't split this because I want it to really stand out, to sort of jump out, whereas I split the thread for the buttons. There we are. So, and all I'm doing is, I think it's called a backward stitch, and I'm pulling it through and then I'm going back over the space, and it's just nice and quick, and it'll stand out. I did think about doing embroidery as a couple of videos, and it does pop up every now and again, but I know. I suppose if I do a series on embroidery, it's because I'm running out of ideas. This was one of the first ones that I wrote down to do, the clock. Yeah, when I decided to start making these videos, yeah, clock was on it. And I've done 200 videos and I still haven't done the clock, so I must dig out and see which other ones I've missed. I know it's not, the clock is sat on the side. It's not that I've deliberately not done the clock. I just sit down and do other things, go to the shop and buy more fabric. So okay, so we are just finishing off the A. And no, it's not very good, but I think I've done enough just to explain what you can do. All you need to do is worry about your clearance and enjoy it, really. I suppose if you've got to go to the shop to get the clock, I could say you could go to the shop and you can buy all these buttons and everything else like that. Tiny amount of glue, I mean tiny. I have done, ooh, yeah, 1 big lump and 5 little lumps. Keeping an eye on where the top is, because we want to make sure that we line it up with the top. Okay, so that's that. I need to put my hands back in and in the order. Because of the way it's designed, you're only able to sort of put them on, you know, the biggest one with the biggest hole is first, and the smaller one for the hands, and then the little dinky one for the seconds. Okay, and then this pops on back over the top. I'm just lining it up because I can kind of guess where it's going to go, but not quite. And I want it flush. Yeah, in a way, I suppose, you can either go with, you want it to look handmade from yourself, or you want it to look from a designer boutique. So there we are. I'll put the battery in, and I'll put the battery in the other way. Did you know, useless fact, right? I think this is a lovely fact, actually. If you put the battery in the wrong way in England, I can hear it ticking, so I know it's working. The hands go around the wrong way. Yeah, I know. It makes no sense. Okay, so not a brilliant example, but definitely a thing you can think about at home, and good idea just to check that I can get my hands round. And there we go. And that's good. Okay, thank you ever so much for watching. My name's Fiona from Weekly Sewing Bee.